All right, guys, thank you all for coming out tonight to the 2024 Sir Walter Myler Elite Athlete Panel. My name is Pat Price. I'm here with Sir Walter, Summer Miles Podcast. If you're here, you're probably aware of some of those things, so thank you for being hardcore. And we also have a good friend from Raleigh, a famous podcaster from the I'll Have Another podcast, Lindsey Hein.
Hey everybody, thanks for welcoming me here, and the Sir Walter crew is so amazing. I think we should kick off. He's writing notes down. He's still prepping for the interviews, guys. What are you most excited about this weekend? We're gonna make you talk first.
Well, first off, let's thank Puma Elite for coming out and bringing these cool shirts. Pretty sweet. So, this is year 11, so we're always excited just to have all you guys here, have the athletes in town, and just do something that we always thought was going to be fun. If you guys don't know the story behind Sir Walter, kind of a brief thing is Sandy, who's walking outside, was trying to break 4 the mile back in 2013. And back then, there wasn't races like ours, so we basically created our own. We did a GoFundMe, or not GoFundMe, what do they call it? Kickstarter, yeah, excuse me. Did a Kickstarter, raised some money, and put on the event the next year. And now 10 years later, here we are, 11 years later. So we're just excited to have everybody here and get after it. So what do you think? You want to introduce the first group?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do 3 at a time here. First up, we've got a returning athlete from Eugene, Oregon, Jenn Randall. Come on up, Jenn. And now we've got our 2 pop-up champions to join Jenn as well. Somebody who's familiar with the triangle, but this is her first Sir Walter, Jess McGorty. And next up, a guy who's been coming to Sir Walter since 2017. And when he was in high school, he just finished up at UNC Charlotte and won the pop-up champs last month, Tim Haughton. Tim.
All right, are you cracking up in that course? Okay, we're really, really having fun up here drinking a Coors Light.
And if you did the Tour de Walter, we have koozies. They're in the locker back there.
There we go. Okay, let's start with our local runners, our pop-up mile champions. And the microphones, are they right here? You guys, you're in a little pouch there. All right, so let's start with our pop-up mile champions. Tim, what are you most excited about running the Sir Walter Mile? You grew up in the Raleigh area, so you've been coming to this race for a lot of years. How do you feel racing the actual Sir Walter Mile?
Yeah, it's really cool. I've never run a race, anything like this. Been coming forever, but it's such a cool atmosphere. So I'm really excited to be a part of it.
And tell us about the pop-up miles and what that experience was like for you.
Yeah, I've lived here forever, but I've never actually run one of the pop-up miles before, and so I just came out, did a few of them this year, and then got lucky, won the championship, got into this race. So yeah, it's really cool. Got lucky.
Did you get lucky? No, you ran really hard. Jess, tell us about the same experience for you running all the pop-up miles and winning that championship.
Yeah, it was super cool. The pop-up miles had great energy. They're just so many people showed up, kids, adults, everyone. So I feel like that really made the pop-up miles super fun, seeing what kind of community Raleigh had. But yeah, it was super cool to race the pop-up miles, to be in this race, and I'm super excited.
And Jenn, welcome back to Raleigh. Last year, Jenn did the trifecta. She came on the podcast. She came to the Elite Athlete Panel, and she ran the race. So if you do those things, we like you. You get to come back, especially if you run well. But in the past year, you have joined the Oregon Track Club, and you have broken 4:30. Last year, you ran 4:30 point something, and then you went and broke it. Not at our race, but we're still happy for you. What has the past year been like for you?
It's been a really good year. I feel like I was working so hard for so long to try to break that 4:30 mile, and then I think this year things just really started to click, and part of it is just building a few years of solid training, and everything's just kind of come together, and just keeps getting better. It's been a good year.
Good. We're happy to kick that off for you. So we'll go back to you, Tim. Being here, running locally, you ran in Charlotte for college. What did you do this summer to kind of prepare yourself for the pop-up championship? And you said you got lucky. It didn't look very lucky.
Yeah, well, I like redshirted this outdoor season. I've been training on my own since March actually. So I've just been, trying to work hard, kind of staying in it mentally. It's been a big thing. It's kind of tough to like stay locked in, having to do everything solo, but I've been working pretty hard and I feel like I'm in a good spot for this race.
And Jess, you came to that first pop-up mile and you've slowly like worked your way into shape, won the championship, and then won America's Road Mile. So you're feeling pretty good, it seems like right now. What are your thoughts going into this weekend?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I feel like I have had a lot of positive momentum over the last couple months. It's been, I feel like very like only sometimes in your career do you see like big jumps like that coming off an injury. Sometimes, when things go well, that's what happens. So I feel like I've just been really having a lot of fun with it, having a lot of fun with training. So that's been very enjoyable and I'm very excited.
Tell us about training with the Puma team out here.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I love the people on my team. I really enjoyed Amy and Alistair as coaches. This summer, I've done a lot of my training with Danny Aragon and Angel, just kind of hanging on to them as we were going around the track. But it's been great. It's been kind of a hot and humid summer, but having those two has made it more enjoyable and definitely adds another element to training. But yeah.
So you have a college teammate running Sir Walter and a current teammate running Sir Walter. So what will that experience be like running with them on the track?
Yeah, and to add to that, I actually have a high school teammate also running it. So I have a bunch of different people. Yeah, no, it's super cool. I'm excited to see all of them, and it's been a while since I've seen Lindsey Butler, who's my high school teammate, Christina. But it definitely adds to the fun of the event. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Jenn, I was going to ask you. Pat touched on you breaking 4:30 for the first time. And I think as runners, like we all obsess over certain times, right? Like marathoners want to break 3 hours. Like there's always this elusive time we want to break. Did you get hung up on the time? And then like after the fact, how does it settle with you? Like, are you still celebrating? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, partially because of like the Endless Mileage Project in Eugene with the whole like fast forest. It's always just kind of been a goal of mine for always like the last like 2 years probably to be a part of that. So it's like something I've really been trying to do. Yeah, and then I just like in the race where I got it, I went in the last mile and I was like, we gotta pick it up right now or it's not gonna happen. I want that tree. So really that was a motivator with it. And I was just like so excited when it happened. And similarly, I was stuck at that like 4:10 barrier in the 1500. And I had like little baby PRs the year before, but I was just kind of like running a lot of races right around that time. And then this year, like I think breaking 4:30 just like gave me a little confidence and got my momentum going in the right direction. And since then I've like had some PR after PR in like 3 different distances. So it's just been, I think it just kind of helped get my momentum going. And just, part of it is like an older athlete that came to the track a little bit late. I think it just like that sort of success helps me build my confidence and that goes a long way.
Yes, I was going to elaborate on that. Did you guys catch the thing about the fast forest? So maybe Jenn, you can elaborate on this, but I know it's something that Ben Blankenship was involved in, and for every man's broken 4 minutes and every woman's broken 4:30, they planted a tree for them, and there's like a little trail out there in Eugene. Have you gone to see your tree?
Yeah, so my mom came to visit and I like was really excited about it, so I wanted to show her. I don't think it's planted yet, so I think like probably they'll wait for like the season to be over and like plant that crop of trees. But I run in the park sometimes where they're planted, so I do see them, and that's kind of been a little motivator for a while. I was like, oh, I want to have my tree there. So I've seen the area and I like know what it looks like, so I know where it's gonna be hopefully pretty soon.
So we've had a lot of trees from Sir Walter out there. So if you're ever in Eugene, go check it out. If you see Jenn's, take some mulch, take care of it. Right? We're gonna keep that thing alive.
Does Sir Walter get like love on the tree then? Like, does it say where the mile happened?
Damn well should. I don't know. Maybe if you could take care of that, Jenn.
Maybe we need to talk to Ben about that and get that added to the plaque.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben runs with one of my high school friends, Scott Williams. So Scott, if you're listening, make sure that happens. Okay. All right. Well, Jen, last question for you is someone who's been here before. For Jess and Tim, what would your advice be running in a crowd like Sir Walter?
Oh man, it's just such an awesome vibe, and the energy just on the track with all the community lining it is just like, I mean, I really haven't run a track race that compares to that. So really just like, I feel like it helps take the nerves away a little bit too when you just get to like slap everybody's hands and there's just that energy beforehand. So just kind of like, absorb that positive energy and just like let that carry you. It's a really awesome experience.
And we got two questions for you guys too, because you're local. Jess and Tim both. Jess, I guess you can go first. Name one place here you really enjoy running and one place not related to running that people should check out, like Hardee's or whatever.
I do most of my runs in the ATT, so that's my favorite place to run.
What trailhead?
New Hope, pretty much all the time. Yeah.
Vanilla.
And so I'm a dog lover. I don't have any dogs, but one of my favorite places to go is the downtown Cary Park and just watch all the beautiful dogs. Yeah.
Shout out downtown Cary Park. We talked about this on the podcast, but I got kids. That place is ridiculously awesome. So
I gotta say something about that park. I took my kids to that park 2 days ago and they thought it was the best thing ever. And then it was closed because they were taking trees down. So then the dog park was right there. And so my kids played in the dog park. That's how good their dog park is though. There were no dogs in the dog park, but I was like, they were like, why, how is this a dog park? This is so nice.
okay, Tim, you're up. What are your spots?
Yeah, for me it's Tobacco Trail too, but Wimberley entrance.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wimberley, that's my favorite. So shout out. I mean, it's the ATT, it's vanilla. Like,
You can run both ways from there though. It's not just like paved in one direction. So I like that one a little
yeah,
bit.
you can go 3.5 out, hit the bathroom, come back. Good
Yeah.
times.
I have one more question for you, Tim. You said a minute ago, like, you really had to get your mindset in the right place and you're training by yourself a lot. Like, how did you do that? What did you do to get your mindset in that place?
So I've had a lot of help from like friends, and then my old coach, my high school coach, has been like coming to bike with me when I've been around here, and so just like that's been huge. And then honestly, I think I've made my workouts like a little bit easier, just so I like feel like I'm in better shape, even if I'm not. But I think building the confidence is
Do the downhill slope out
yeah.
there. All right, what's your spot? Skippers?
Oh, I like going to Jordan Lake. It's kind of like it's further from here, but like I'm from Apex. It's like a 10-minute drive for me. So just like chilling at the lake for the day is always nice.
Cool. All right. All right. Who's got a question for these guys up here? Alan, PG.
So Jen, now that you've broken 430, that was like the big goal. So what's next? Like, how do you set a new goal after that? What are your plans?
I set a new time goal for myself. And then I ran the Yakima mile in my next race and broke it. But technically there's a little downhill on that. So it's like still my goal. So it's like, oh, let's go for 425. And then at Yakima I ran 424.99. So I mean, I would like to do that on the track. I mean, the goal Friday is just like, I love to compete. It's just to go out there and compete and race as well as I can. And usually that brings times with it. But yeah, my next time goal for the mile is gonna be sub 425 on an official track race.
Well, speaking of unofficial track races, little commercial break here. If you want to run a downhill mile this Saturday night, we have the race for you. Start at the top of Centennial Parkway over at Oval, run down to Agriculture, 130-foot drop, 20-second PR guaranteed, right, Sandy? Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks, Jen. Thanks for the setup. You can come back. Yeah.
It's certified.
All right. Any more questions for Group A here? All right. You guys are released. Thank you.
Okay, Group B. Do the athletes know what group you're in? Okay. Wait, Abby, you're shaking your head like you're in the next group, but I don't have you in the next group. Oh, you do? Okay. All right. Hold on, I got the wrong group. Let's see here. We've got Abby Nichols.
Here.
Sean McGorty.
Mick Stanovsek. I got it. I like that. You forgot, Lindsey, returning champion Abby Nichols. Abby, thank you for coming back. Sean too, Mick too. We got 3 returnees here. Yeah, welcome back. We'll start with you, Mick, because you've become very ingrained with the local community. Mick is one of our point people with Puma Elite. You've probably seen him running around Chapel Hill, Durham, Raleigh, maybe with a camera, maybe posting social media to the Puma Elite account. But he's got roots in the Outer Banks. But tell us about your time here in the Triangle.
Yeah, so I joined Puma Elite a little over a year and a half ago. It's been fantastic getting to, as you said, I went to high school first flight, go Nighthawks, down on the Outer Banks for a couple years. And so I've got some old friends who now live in the Triangle, which has been great to reconnect with them. And then, yeah, as far as like with Puma Elite, I now run our social media account and stuff. So if you see me on my phone, it's not like I want to be doing it. It's mostly sometimes work. And so, yeah, I've been fortunate enough to have the opportunity to be able to take photos and train with the team and stuff. And yeah, help this partnership come alive. Sir Walter times Rhinology times Puma Elite. So yeah, it's been really fun.
And Sean, you also have some ties to the Triangle with your parents being Tar Heels. What is your impression of your time here in Raleigh and Chapel Hill, Durham, the greater Triangle area?
I mean, I enjoy every chance I get to come down to the area. I actually went to the Outer Banks pretty much every summer growing up, so I probably ran past your high school at some point.
Noosa Beach Grill, mile 9.75, my parents' restaurant. Yeah, check it out.
But yeah, it started, I guess, with my parents going to Chapel Hill and then the Outer Banks, and now pretty much everyone and anyone that I know seems to live in the area. So we'll see if Raleigh's in my future at some point, but and I already know a real estate agent, so I am well connected down here. But yeah, grew up loving UNC basketball. Maybe I'm becoming a little bit of an NC State fan, at least for women's cross country. So it's he knows where my heart lies for men's cross country. So yeah, I think especially having like my college coach here now, I thought growing up there was always a chance I would go to UNC. At that point, I thought it would be to play soccer. I think if Milt had been at UNC when I was coming up in high school, there's a decent chance I would have been a Tar Heel as well. But yeah, just really grateful for all the connections in the area because every time I get here, it's always a treat.
I think he just announced that he was moving here. I think that's what it sounds like. Okay, Abby's our returning champ from last year. How does it feel to be the returning champ at this race?
It's kind of a little surreal that I did that last year. Like, I don't know. I don't, coming back, it's like, okay, this feels different. It's a different race. It doesn't feel like pressure or anything, but it's just exciting to come back. And I just love the energy of this race. So I'm excited for this new experience.
And how are you feeling coming off the trials, and what does this last few weeks, month look like for you?
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like everyone kind of like might relate to this, but after the trials, I feel like it was just like so emotional at the trials that it was really hard to bounce back from, like just the highs and lows, and you're like experiencing everybody else's highs and lows, like just watching. And so also I was there for like 2 weeks, and then it's like when I got back, it's like, okay, we have to regroup, and it just took like every day was kind of different. I don't know, like some days I felt motivated, other days it was like, okay, just one foot from the other. But and then once I had some more races on the map, I got excited again, and instead of like tour day Europe, I did tour day Ohio. And I did some races in Ohio, and they were a lot of fun. So I'm getting some more momentum back. I'm excited for this race. Yeah.
Like the race last year, what did you learn from it, and that you'll take with you this year? And I think there's probably a lot of competitors in the room that maybe would like to hear some advice from the reigning champion.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in the mile last year and also other miles I've done, I feel like at this level when the women are this good, like you can't really let the race run away from you and think you're going to catch it at the end. And so, I mean, I think if you're just kind of stick yourself in it and see what happens, it's like giving yourself the best opportunity to like run your best race. So.
All right, Mick, you have a unique job of kind of following the team and posting the team's info and continuing to run at a very high level yourself. What have you learned from being on the other side of the sport and not just your own running?
I've learned to not give photographers such a hard time when they take a downstep photo. It's not as easy as it looks. Yeah, you guys doing the Lord's work. And then, yeah, no, I mean, I think honestly, I've genuinely learned to be able to enjoy races for the thrill of pushing myself and learning more about myself. There's just like a little bit less tied to it when I have another job to do as well. Yeah.
And you know, hands-on kind of what kind of training Fiona O'Keefe has been doing leading up to the Paris Olympics. If you were a betting man on DraftKings.com, how much money would you bet on her to place top 3?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but what I will
It's
say
not baseball. You can say it.
I mean, I'd put. I mean, I'm not a wealthy man, but I'd put what I have, I guess. I mean, she's been up in Mammoth Lakes, dropping me pretty hard on some long runs. She's no stranger to 5-minute pace at 9,000 feet now. So I would hush over the crowd.
If y'all win,
like,
just
it's hectic. Yeah.
send Mick 10% to his Venmo. So, yeah. All right, Sean, you're a jack of all trades. You've done the steeplechase, the mile, 10K, 5K. What's your favorite event?
Obviously, the mile.
All right, yeah, I guess we're done here. Yeah. What is? I know this year you kind of came out of nowhere at the trials. You hadn't raced all year. They ran really well. Probably not quite as much as you wanted, but how are you feeling now? Are we healthy?
We're all healthy. I've raced more since the trials than before, so I feel like, going to the trials, I kind of felt like I was just getting my season started, and it's not where you want to get your season started, but that was just kind of the way things played out after an injury during the winter. And so I've been really excited just with the momentum. I feel like I've been able to carry over racing through July and want to carry that into August now, starting with the mile on Friday and then finishing up later into August and maybe early September. But, last year was similar where I opened up at the U.S. Championships and then besides Worlds, only raced one other time. So I feel like I'm kind of making up for a lot of missed racing opportunities. And whenever it lines up that I get to run a mile or get to run a 1,500, I'm always very excited. And it beats 25 laps around the track. I can promise you that. So, I think opportunities like this, when maybe that like big goal at the trials doesn't come to fruition, it's a very easy meet to get very excited about.
Very easy to say that running for Nike and having great backing, right? Just kidding. Not really. Okay, I was going somewhere with that, but you moved from Portland to Eugene, and talk about maybe that transition. And a lot of us were out there at the trials, and we go back for U.S. champs and whatnot. What are a few of your favorite spots out there?
Yeah, I think, originally for the team, it definitely took some time to transition to the move and transition to Jerry coaching at the University of Oregon. But I mean, Eugene really, from a training standpoint, offers us everything that we need. We're able to work out at Hayward Field. There's different soft surface running with Priest Trail and the Amazon Trail. And then there's a few different bike paths a little further out from Eugene and other like gravel roads that we'll use for long runs. So compared to Portland, there's much more variety to our training because we used to do a lot at Nike, which was fantastic from like track standpoint, but running around Ronaldo Field on campus and then this Hollister loop that was 1.5 miles long, you definitely needed some good conversation to make the run pass a little quicker. So way more variety with where we can get our training in and, weather-wise and everything like that. It was pretty much the same.
All right, and Abby, last question for you from me. As someone who has won the race, what would your advice be for these scrappy young upstarts you're sitting beside on how to take the dub this year?
Just be tough and be gutsy. You guys know what you're doing. Just trust yourself. She has a lot of confidence. You guys know you can win. That's what she said. Abby runs for NAZ Elite and sponsored by Hoka. And so you have this cool opportunity to run with people who train for the mile all the way to the marathon. You have women and men who are newer professionals, and then you have the likes of Steph Bruce, Kellen Taylor on the team. So tell us a little bit about the experience. You have this like wealth of knowledge that you get to pull from.
Yeah, it's super cool, like running with people who are seasoned, like have been through all of this before, and like always bouncing off ideas with them. And I love like Steph, Kellen, and Allie because they actually like want to help you in your career. And like Steph has helped me so much. Also, like if something's weird, I'll just ask her and she'll have the answer. I'm like, how'd you know that? Oh, you've been running for like 20 years, so that makes sense. Yeah, and there's just like endless like personalities to be around, and it just keeps things fresh and like keeps you motivated. So it's just so nice running with everybody.
And time goes so fast, but like somewhat recently-ish, you guys have a new coach. Was it like a year ago?
Yeah, I think it's been a year.
Okay, tell us about that experience and what that's been like.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely hard. Like I transferred at the end of college with COVID and everything. I had 2 more years, so switched to coach then, switched to coach when I joined, and then switched to coach like last year. So it's been a lot of change, and it's just like hard to figure out like what is working for me, what's not. But I mean, Jack's been like so easy to transition with. Like he's just very like open to like your ideas, and like he's just also like a people person, so you can just talk about anything with him. So yeah, it's been super easy. He's just an easy person to get along with. And we also have Jenna, our assistant coach too. So we have so many like minds working together.
So Ohio State, CU, and AZ Elite.
Yeah.
Okay, what have you learned from like those 3 experiences?
Like separately?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I've just like I'm constantly learning new things, and like you're never gonna figure it out. But it's just like nice to pick up little tidbits on the way, and like I don't know. Also, just like learning about myself, like what makes me tick, like what I love about running, why am I still here? And also just like learning where like at Ohio State, like I went from like a 16:30 5K to like breaking 16 there, and then I went to Colorado and I got to 15:15. And so it's just like learning that I can keep getting better if I just keep working at it. And like I just want to make other people believe that they can too, because I think it's possible. Like the body is so adaptable if you just keep believing in yourself.
Can I ask you a question being from Ohio?
Wait, what?
What is the Ohio what is you're young, y'all are young. What is Ohio? Why do kids talk about Ohio all the time? Do you know?
I think like he's from Ohio.
Yeah.
Do you know? My kids are always saying Ohio this, Ohio that. You're from Ohio, yeah.
I mean, I was just talking about this with one of my Ohio friends, and like,
You know what I'm talking about?
Like, why is Ohio so obsessed with Ohio? Because like I talked to other people, they're like, really, is Ohio that great? But I just think like the people there are awesome, and like I don't know, everyone has these like morals there. I feel like I'm not that there's not in other places, but I just feel like it's like a good mom and pop state. I don't know what I'm saying.
Props to Ohio. Do you know? You look like you have something to say.
My theory is that like so many people from Ohio leave Ohio that they like scatter across the nation, and so you can't meet anyone who hasn't met someone from Ohio. And so I mean I think that must be how it happened. It's a mystery.
You know what I'm talking about,
The kids,
Okay.
skibbity toilet.
Yeah, all
yes,
this.
no.
Did you want to give your parents' ice cream shop a shout out too?
Yes, good notes. So right next to Noosa Beach Grill is Noosa Scoops. You can get some ice cream there as well. Just opened a couple of weeks ago. My sister's helped running it, so a good family affair for sure. Yeah.
Do we want to open it up to questions now for these 3 up here? Oh, Pat's got another one.
Actually, I have 2 questions. First off, I don't know if y'all put 2 and 2 together here, but Sean and Jess, where'd she go? There we go. Brother-in-law, sister-in-law. How's that relationship? We good? Sean, you care to comment?
I mean, I got the best sister-in-law in the world. So.
See, then my last question for Mick, because Mick is from Australia. What is your go-to order at Outback Steakhouse?
Everywhere. Yeah, a lot of different routes. I don't go there often. They actually, my folks, their first restaurant was Outback Jack's in the '90s, and Outback Steakhouse threatened a lawsuit. So, boo, Outback. But no, they've got like a pretty good, like I think it's like a steak and two sides deal. So I'll usually just go with that.
All right, good answer. Very wholesome. All right, questions. So we got. Yes, Ethan.
It's Sean. When you went to Stanford, was there any thought to be a decathlete like your dad? Like, did you think about the long jump at all? Or?
I think that ship had sailed by the time I got to Stanford. Growing up, we went to like the Junior Olympic youth stuff during the summer, and I did used to throw at that point it was a turbo jab. They didn't trust us with spears, and I did high jump a little. But by the time I was like in middle school and high school, that ship sadly had sailed. We had a little more hope maybe that Brandon would follow suit. He at least high jumped in high school. I think right now, if we all had to do a decathlon with zero training, I would like to say that I could beat my brothers. I don't know if I could beat my dad at this point still, but in a different world, it'd be really fun to see. And I think I was really fortunate to have a great decathlete teammate at Stanford and Harrison Williams, and he's actually in Paris right now representing Team USA. So I've always loved that event and grew up watching that event, but unfortunately never tried that event. But it is a common debate amongst our team of who could do a decathlon the best off of 1 to 2 days of practice in the different events. So, yeah.
What's your high jump PR?
It's definitely not over 6 feet because I can't remember the last time I high jumped, but 5 something. I'll do my brother's one. He high jumped 6'5" in high school and has our school record. So, but my dad high jumped 7 feet. So, yeah.
Somebody else had a question.
So I have one question for all three, and then one specifically for Mick. For all three of you, you guys are all returning. What's your favorite part about Sir Walter's race?
I really liked all the high fives. It's so cute and wholesome. So.
I mean, yeah, similar. I think the intro really gets you hyped, but I think like racing with people that close to you and feeling that energy the entire way around the track. And I don't know, from the first time I did it in 2018, it's just always been an environment that I've wanted to come back to if I'm able to experience it. And I think starting, this is my first time being on the athlete panel, but the dinner we have tomorrow night, the idea of the host families and then being able to celebrate with everyone after the race, I think the entire time it feels like you're very connected to the people that are out there supporting you and helping you run your best. So I think that's a big part of what makes this race special.
Yeah, I mean, I would echo, obviously, I think everyone will say the crowds are pretty amazing here. The way that the meet directors take care of us as well is pretty awesome. And then if I recall from my last time racing it, we get some free drink tokens, right? All right, cool. Yeah, so that's probably that as well.
And then specifically for Mick, I'm going to Outer Banks next week. So what do I got to eat at your family group?
Oh, okay, great question. So there's always a good special, but the fish tacos are great. If you're looking for something really filling, there's a Korean short rib, barbecue short rib. My roommate had it once, and then he just like searched high and low trying to remake it at our house, and he wasn't getting it right. So that's proprietary information. But yeah, so probably one of those two things.
Yeah, my notes.
Gotcha.
And that's Kitty Hawk. No.
I think more so like Kill Devil Hills, Nag's Head.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be standing next. So.
Beauty.
Question for Abby. Who, if anybody in the field, is the real threat to your second Sir Walter championship?
I see question.
I mean, we all think about it for sure. Who are we gonna race against? Probably Heather McLean, I think.
I like that you answered it too. Love it.
This will be published to YouTube and the Summer of Miles podcast. So yeah, let's keep it hot.
We will send the link directly to Heather. Does anybody else have questions for these three? Oh, that was great.
Awesome.
Thank you. Wow, indeed. It's all of Group C here. Eleanor, Eric, and Allie. Do we have everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, Allie Buchalski. I was worried I was gonna say your last name wrong. Eleanor Fulton and Eric Holt. Welcome. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Okay. Eric, congratulations on your new sponsorship. Puma in the house.
Thank you.
How's that feel?
Oh, it feels great. You know, I've been working for it for a very long time, and for a while I thought I would, retire from the sport, never getting a sponsor. I remember right before I got sponsored, I saw a YouTube video saying I'd probably never get a sponsorship. So it's good to get a sponsorship, and it feels good. I feel like wow, I'm finally a professional. I remember when I was a little kid, I always wanted to be a professional athlete. So the fact that I did it is like oh wow, I actually did something that I set out to do as a kid. So it feels pretty good.
And you've got a lot of Puma love here in Raleigh.
Absolutely. It's crazy. I always feel bad because I go to a lot of shoe stores and I don't see any Puma shoes or gear. So I'm finally running store with all the Puma shoes. It's great.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay, so last year you were here, you were with your teammates though. So you're flying solo this year?
No. So my uniform will say Puma/Empire Elite. So I made sure when I signed Puma that I wanted Empire Elite, my club that I represent New York, to be part of it. So I haven't left them. I'm just able to now run with them, represent Empire Elite, and take better care of myself.
All right, Eleanor, you have a track record here. It's good to have you back. You broke 4:30 here in 21, I believe, and then came in second in 22, which was our fastest race ever. You still have the second fastest time ever at Sir Walter, but you've been injured for like the past year, but you're back. Tell us about kind of what you've been up to since the last time we saw you.
Yeah, it's been rough since I was joking on the way here. No, it's been a journey. I feel like the last time I was here, I was definitely at my best, and I'm seeing signs of life where I hope that's returning. But yeah, I was out. I missed a solid year. Had a navicular fracture, then surgery, and then sacral stress fracture. So it was a rough. Yeah, it feels really good to be traveling. I'm wanting to be back to being at my best. But I'm really happy to be just like for a run. So normal. It was gonna be been a little shakeout today. Yeah, that was not the story of last year. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Welcome back. Good to have you. And Allie, this is your first time here, right? Welcome to Raleigh.
Thank you.
I know you have some ties with old Logan Roberts, one of our founders, Furman University. So what's going on? You're training out west with the Brooks Beast. We're over here on the East Coast talking like this. What's the vibe out there?
I mean, I grew up in Georgia, so
There we go.
yeah, I do really like it out there. I love the Pacific Northwest. Nothing against the South, but I walked off the plane. I was like, "What is this humidity? I'm not used to it." But yeah, I'm excited to be out here. I've had Sir Walter on my radar for a while. I didn't realize that you guys were a part of it, but this is very exciting. My 5K PR from Furman was at NC State. So
Shout out Raleigh Relays.
Yeah, there we go. Back in 2017. So it's good to be back in the South.
Speaking of back in the South, Eric, this is your third time here. Is that right?
Yeah, that is right.
What's going to be different this year? What's your plan? Do you have a sneak attack going?
It's funny. It's been very special. Like I've always had, the great St. Host family, which always takes very good care of me. It's just I like Raleigh. Always good weather. In my opinion, it's like not too hot, not too cold. And just great. Tons of people. So it's I'm excited. But I told myself I actually always in my room I have a poster of Mr. Walter. It's like a bunch of caricatures of like all the athletes.
It's right above his head, right there. You can kind of see it. Yeah, take the lead with that.
So I do want to like one day win this race. So hopefully we'll see. But I know it's a lot of really good competitors. So I think this will be possibly could be a record-breaking year. We'll see. But I just want to have fun, race, and I'll try my best, and we'll see.
All right, Eleanor, you have spent a lot of time on the DL and you're back to running fast again. What did you do, like cross training wise, to get back to where you are now?
I lost the plot. I I tried Swift and I like didn't want a Swift trainer. I wanted a smart bike or I wanted just like a bike setup. But my husband got was like, no, get the trainer. It's just like this shoes. They're hurt. You don't know this like this. So I got the Swift trainer and then I loved it. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna work on my FTP. And then I got really into it. I ended up joining the Swift a virtual racing team. Shout out to Team Synergy. And it's been like a very expensive little thing to explore because then I needed a new bike and then I needed like the smart bike, like the better trainer, like not a bike, not a trainer. So, and yeah, cycling gears wild. So I feel like I got so far from running that I was like kind of curious about what being a cyclist looks like. And I had fun with it, I guess, eventually. I mean, but months and months of that. So it.
It's interesting. There's all those conversations about like, oh, running's the most inexpensive sport, and then everybody talks about like, wait, like the shoes are expensive, the clothes are expensive, all the things. But then you talk about cycling, and this is a whole other world.
Everything. Yeah. It's like I don't have like the the bibs, and then even those are expensive. Those are wild. Yeah. And then the socks and the shoes. And I needed to be and yeah, it was. Oops.
But did you find some like freedom in, okay, I can't run right now. I have to find something else that I love. Did you find any freedom in that and finding something else that filled your soul like running does?
It's such a good, like, I was really happy to find something that kind of made me feel like me. And then I also felt a little bit disappointed that it was like an individual endurance sport. It's like such a weak, like, not very far from the running bucket. Like I could also like this, and I think I wish it had been like more different, like photography or something. No, apparently I just like.
But you're back in shape. Like it kept you in shape to do the endurance sport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Allie, you sixth place at the Olympic trials. How do you feel about that? Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a little bittersweet. As most people probably know, they took 2 more ladies, so I ended up being the first alternate. And the 5K prelim at the Olympics is actually the day of the Sir Walter Mile. So I get to be here instead. And it is actually like a cherry on top to be able to have a high level competition on that day because it is hard to watch. I will watch it, but it's hard to watch. So it's nice to have a race to look forward to.
How are you gonna like try to like feel at peace when you watch it?
I think that's a question for my sports psych that I've asked him plenty of times. Still working on it. I mean, like I said, I think having the next goal on the horizon helps a lot. I already did my time being sad. You got to look up the next best opportunity, and that's Sir Walter. That's late season races. It's what is the next best opportunity, and this is happening in 2 days. So.
Sorry, one more trials question. Are you technically the alternate now because Whitney Morgan's going, so you're the alternate?
Yeah, I am, which is like even more bittersweet. I get all the like, all the emails, and they're like, "Oh, congratulations! I'm making it to the Olympic team." And I'm like, "I'm not. You don't travel alternates, and I'll be here instead." So I've been putting a lot of those on mute, and I was like, "Someone will call me if I need to know something."
That's a good idea. Okay, so now you have to like get your mindset on a very fast race, the mile race coming off racing a 5K. So how are we doing that?
Yeah, my coach just texted me the pace information, and it's very exciting. It's gonna be a hot pace. I'm a 5K runner. So getting off the line is not my strong suit. So I texted him back and was like, hopefully I can get off the line this time. But it is fun to do different events. I've never broken 4:30, and so being able to do that here would be really cool. I run 4:05, so you'd think I'd be able to. For some reason, it just hasn't clicked. So that's the goal. I run 4:30.1, just a little bit faster.
I think you're gonna get it. I think it's gonna happen Friday. Okay, you have your tooth back.
Well, so I got this beautiful retainer yesterday. I had like a a flipper that would just fall out. Like, the way my gum healed wasn't great, so I got a new one that like looks a lot better. Please tell me it looks better.
I couldn't tell.
Thank you.
Looks amazing.
But my tooth, I heard it playing high school basketball when I was in high school and had a root canal 13 years ago that just failed, unfortunately. And they were like, we can try to re-root canal it, but we won't know if it works unless you develop symptoms. And I was like, it's an Olympic year. I'm not waiting. Just take it out. So we have a bone graft in that takes 6 months to heal. And once that heals, then I'll start the process of getting the titanium rod and like a permanent tooth in there. But for all the media stuff, you gotta look good. So I got the retainer.
I love that you were just rocking it though with nothing in there.
I mean, if you try to run with those flippers, it is disgusting and they bounce around. I was like, this is more distracting than, and honestly, I didn't really notice it. It was more other people pointing it out to me. You're like, did you know you lost a tooth? Yeah.
Were you like, I hope they don't ask me about the tooth at the Sir Walter Mile panel?
Nah, I mean, it's a comedic favorite, so.
I chipped my tooth at the gym, like pushing the bar up the other day, my front tooth.
It's a risk. Hey, watch out.
I know, weightlifting is a high risk sport here. Eric, I felt like you were gonna say something. Were you gonna chime in about the tooth?
Oh, no.
Please, what do you have?
I don't have much. I actually was joking to my girlfriend. I haven't been to a dentist, I think, in like 10 years. Don't know if that's a good or bad
Yeah, you
thing.
might have some tooth that come out.
I mean, it's pretty impressive though. You're not having any like pain or anything. Like not, you
I
know.
don't think I've ever had a cavity or anything.
Tell Puma you need that dental insurance.
The fluoride in the tap water, you know.
No, I was just laughing. Eric sounds like my dad. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any dentists in the audience here. We usually have a few doctors, but you know, one of the coolest things, I don't know if you guys follow Eric on social media, but after he got his contract with Puma, like Eric's story, and I'll let you elaborate on this, Eric. I'm gonna kind of do a little thing is he's like, I've got this girlfriend that lives by the track and she takes care of me. And one day I'm gonna pay her back. And I don't know how that's going, but I do know that you took her out to dinner and took some Instagram pictures. So how are we doing with the girlfriend?
Well, it was funny because everyone thought I paid for that, but Puma actually paid for that.
Puma's paying for everything now. I mean, you know, have you met Mick? He's got the checkbook. Yeah.
I was like, well, guys, I didn't pay for it. I didn't need to, you know.
So what else did you put off all these years?
I mean, I don't think I've seen a doctor in like over 10 years. I mean, it's funny. Both my parents are nurses, and they hate going to the doctor. Like, my dad hasn't been to a doctor in like 30 years. He's been a nurse the whole time, and my mom's the same way. And they're like, holy crap, your parents are nurses, and you can never make them go to the doctor.
Okay, well, somebody help him out. I know as a professional athlete, you're still technically like a 1099 employee, so you got to get your own health insurance. But
I mean, I don't have health insurance, but I should probably look into it.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll get somebody.
Come on,
We'll get somebody
anything
to
you
give you a physical this weekend. But Eric, people are really passionate about your career. Like when you didn't make it out of the rounds in the 15, people were just like really upset. And then you got the contract, and then you ran the 800 and made it the final, and ran an incredible race. Got DQ'd, but you didn't seem to care. Like, where's your head at right now?
No, I care for sure. You know, I mean, I definitely wanted to get the Puma contract, and I honestly thought I was never gonna get a contract. And you know, it's just like I've been working for it for so hard. I wanted it so bad. You know, it's just been the main goal. So, you know, obviously I remember just like celebrating making the 800 final and then having someone tell me I didn't. And like I was arguing with the, you know, USATF people for like an hour. And, you know, it sucked. That sucked because I knew I had at least a 144 in me, maybe even faster. But, you know, it does suck to not have yet made an Olympic trial final. And, you know, that was my goal at the very least. So that was very unfortunate. But, you know, for me, I looked at the bright side. I finally achieved my goal. And, you know, to finally have a contract at, you know, age 29 working all these years, working a psych ward on the side and just wanting this so bad and, finally doing it. And now it's my goal to get Empire Elite sponsored. I tell Ben Allen and my teammates, I'm like, if I can do it, you 100% can do it. You're way better than me. So I need you guys to get sponsored too. And hopefully our club can get sponsored because, I always talk to my coach at Empire and he's like, oh, well, we hope to get this donation because we're right now 20 in the hole, but we'll get this donation, don't worry. And I'm like, geez. So, that would be great. So for me, I'm very fortunate to have the sponsor and it's just like, wow, I finally did it. It's crazy. It's like all these people that I haven't talked to in many years, like my high school coaches are reaching out to me. It's like, wow, it's like, I felt like it's like all coming together and it's just special. Like I feel super grateful to be in this situation and, as long as I can, make it worth it for myself, inspire others and keep on enjoying it, we'll see where it takes me. But, yeah, I'm just taking one race at a time.
Is your girlfriend hitting you up for any IOUs yet?
Well, she's doing really well for herself. She has a really good job in Manhattan. So, I mean, it's kind of funny. It's just like she's doing really well. But I did finally first time pay for her dinner, and it was at this restaurant called Raven. And it was like $200 and something. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I should just go to like McDonald's or something. She's like, oh, we go here for lunch all the time. And my meals aren't $100. What is going on? Are you serious?
Oh, payback, my friends.
I was like, son of a gun. I was like, this is stupid. I was like, God dang it, man. Like, pistachio ice cream's like $30? Like, what is going on here?
That's New York, my man. We got cheap ice cream. Go to Two Roosters while you're here, okay? Eleanor, speaking of awesome supporting people, how's Scott doing?
He's doing well.
Scott is Eleanor's husband. He's a friend of mine. He always is like, feel like cycling and running with you. What's it like to have that kind of support?
It's usually so good.
Usually, she says. Usually.
It's so good. Workout Scott can like find a new level, and so he like recited some of our reps and he'll be telling someone about it, and he'll be like, "Well, so I was in second," and he'll like finish this like he has busted out the biggest and best kick of his life. Like he's never kicked anyone down the line, but like he found that extra little. So he has a couple little things like he usually is like a stronger like threshold type aerobic capacity and I don't like the fact. It makes me so mad. And I am like I end up silent after
Like telling you to get up there with you?
Yes, like he will run in front of me and then he'll be like pointing as we're running and like that I should be there and then
He is a nice guy, I promise.
the best. I like man, this support I don't know where I would be without that. So yeah, Scott's great. Yeah, and I
Good.
spurred on his foot speed like we never thought.
See, it's mutually beneficial.
It is.
All right, Allie, I got a question for you. Your teammate is Josh Kerr, the world champion. Did you ever look at his Instagram and you're like, that guy needs to calm down?
Well, he's not the one running it, so that makes me feel a little bit better. He's very good at delegating. Yeah, there's some hot picks on there that get a lot of traction, and when he was the World Championships in Eugene, it was like right after COVID years in Tokyo, and there was like a lot of hype there, and people were DMing me about how he was acting. Like, what am I doing? I didn't have any say over this. But I really like Josh. He's a phenomenal teammate. We all train in Albuquerque. He lives there full time and does like sea level camps. We kind of do the reverse. And so if our workouts don't align, like when he was going to pre, a lot of us, it was like him and Mia went to pre, and the rest of us had a different schedule. And he was coming out to the men's and women's like practices, and he had the clock for the men 15 group that was going, and was like kind of coaching him up. And he shows up for us. And so his Instagram is one thing, but he's a very good guy, I promise.
That's very nice.
Yeah, I love. Don't we agree though? It's fun when people get more exciting on social media, and then we can like get in more invested into the races. Like it, I think it. I think it's good. Raise your hand if you like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
Okay. Some people do. Some people don't. All right.
Doesn't Josh Kerr say he's not talented?
I mean, apparently Let's Run says that, Josh says that. But yeah, I mean, I will say that he does work hard. We all work hard to be, you know, where we're at. But he talks about his mental game a lot. But I mean, I see the behind the scenes. I do see what he puts in on that side. And I mean, he is turning over every single rock possible. It was really cool seeing that build up to Worlds. Before Worlds last year, he was like, if I don't win this, I don't know what else I can do. So the fact that he pulled it off, he's like, I've done everything. I have the roadmap to success. I can do it again. And so that and like the hype you were talking about, like the men's 15 is a premier event kind of always, and now even more so. So, you know, sometimes trash talk is good.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll wrap up, and then if anybody has questions, you mentioned Josh's mental game. So let's have each of you share something that you do to perfect your mental game.
I'm not as Josh goes. I mean, he goes all in. I'm not gonna say I don't go all in, but he does do like a lot of things that I'm like, that sounds terrible. Like cold baths. I'm just, you know, I'm okay not getting that mentally strong. But I do work with a sports psych. He's great. He was at the Olympic trials with me. He's actually a friend of Danny's too, which is convenient. But I do that. I meditate. I have a journal that I'll write in. I use that journal a lot after the Olympic trials. I pulled out all the stops. But yeah, I'd say more of the traditional things, not as much of the like severe cold.
Do you do ice baths, Eleanor?
I don't. I would say I actually do similar things there. I do see a sports like I started that last year when I was just stuck at home and really frustrated where I was at. So it's just like see someone. But I also meditate and journal when needed.
I wish I could say something, but I don't really. I mean, I guess like think about the race beforehand, but I just try to like, you know, I tell myself this is what I want to do. Let's do it. Let's have fun. Let's get out aggressive. And you know, if we're near the runners of 400 to go, we have a really good shot. We can win this. You know, we've been putting a lot of work in the weight room fast. Yeah, that's basically it. So.
Do you have a song you listen to that pumps you up?
You know what's funny is like music. Like I feel like every like guy like songs. It's just like whatever.
What's on tap for Friday?
Ooh, I don't know. It's probably I'll just probably go through. I love 80s music for some reason. You know, I think it's just what I listened to as a kid a lot. So probably some 80s rock song, whatever I'm feeling. But we'll see. I wish I had a better answer.
All right. Do you guys have songs that you're gonna listen to on Friday? What gets you pumped up?
I actually don't really listen to music on race days. I get like too excited. If anything, I need to calm down. Yeah.
This is gonna betray my vintage. I listen to Holiday by Green Day.
Okay. You have a very specific answer.
Too old. Yeah.
Is this just like on repeat or like a one-off?
No, just once. It's just one time since high school. Like this is it. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay, who has questions for this wonderful panel? Jess Hofheimer.
I wanted to, it's not really necessarily a question first, but I was here last year for the panel, and I just so love hearing Eric talk about his lucky black socks. So I'm gonna say maybe that's part of your like instead of music, you're putting those on. Is that right?
Yeah, I have some long black Puma socks. So
Puma ones.
yeah, so I mean, I've had some bad races in my lucky black socks, so I'm like, well, I guess they're not that lucky anymore. So, they're only as lucky as until I have a bad race. I was, but I'll always be wearing black socks because I just like I can't go spikes without socks. So just any type of black long socks. But yeah, I always will wear long black socks. But now it's like, you know, as long as it's like black, long, That's not what I mean.
Next question.
I've been listening more. Last year, I had other times here, but it made an impact on me, and I feel like, I guess probably like many of us consider ourselves like running nerds, but in my family, in my house, like I'm a mom of 3 kids. I'm like approaching age 50, and you inspire me, and you inspired. Like I was visiting my mom who's turning 79 next month.
Wow.
During the trials, and she was recovering from like a major traumatic injury, and we were cheering for you together. And I want you to know, like, kind of along the lines of what Lindsey was saying about, like, it does make an impact on people when you all share your stories, and like, because you're human, just like us in a way, and yet, like, you are striving for, like, I'm so excited to see all of you here. Like, it's really cool to see you put yourself out there in front of all of us. Like when you run by, you can feel the energy, and like there's just nothing like it. And so I'm just grateful that you're here, and want all of you to know, like, please keep doing it. I don't even have a TikTok account or YouTube. I don't know how to but like Instagram, I'm comfortable with that. So keep doing that. Like, don't necessarily know how to do all of that like social media stuff, but it's appreciated that you all put yourself out there. I don't know what that question.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. And I'll tell you one thing, you look a lot younger than 50s.
It's true. Jess is right. We really appreciate you guys putting your stories out there, and the more you share, I think the better it is for the sport as professional athletes. Like the more your story gets out there, the more eyes come to the sport. Who else has questions? Or just like statements? We love you, Jess.
So, Eric, you mentioned earlier it's been a pretty long journey for you. And what's it kind of been like for the adjustment from being kind of unsponsored really with Empire to kind of adjusting to the Puma, but also with Empire together?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I always want to be honest with my teammates, and I want to inspire them. I never, want there to be any sort of animosity or, any sort of negative emotion. So I always just want to be a role model. And for me, it's just like if I can try to give back to my team in any way possible, that's great. And just to show them what's possible. Because I think it's very easy in life to be, to be pessimistic or to give up. So to show that, hey, in running, it's, most of the contracts come to people, right out of high school, with an NIL, or right out of college with a contract. But I'm a living testament that you can get your first ever contract at 29 if you just keep on grinding and going for it. It is possible, and I'm living proof of that. And so that's just what I want to do, is just try to give back, try to inspire people, try to have energy. And it just feels good to like get this far and finally get a contract. It feels great, and to do it in a way where I don't have to abandon the people that got me here in the first place. So that's what it makes it feel very special.
Thank you. Is anybody else?
I crochet now. I'm a crocheter. I guess it is one of my my meditative tasks. I just finished up a tank top. It's this like straps are a little long, so I gotta edit it a little bit. But so I didn't bring it with me. It would have been perfect for this weather though. Our athletic trainer is having a baby, and so we have a baby blanket on top. I have the yarn in my bag just in the corner. We're learning a new stitch for that.
Anybody else? All right, I'm going to pass it off to you, Pat. Thank you all for letting me jump in on the panel here.
Yes, thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you. Group 3. Good to see you. Guys, again, thanks for supporting Sir Walter. Friday night's a big night. If you're here, we know you care. Bring your friends. And again, run the race Saturday. The downhill miles can be a lot of fun. Do the run with the pros Saturday morning at Wake Med. But again, let's give one more hand to all the athletes that participated in the night. Thank you for Runology for hosting us. And thank you for Puma and Puma Elite for all the swag. We really appreciate it. And all the athletes that participated, we're going to come take a picture real quick. And that's it. We'll see you guys Friday.